Like we missed this whole month. We had maybe
May.
5 good days, and Memorial Days this weekend and stuff. It's brutal, dude.
It's gonna be nice tomorrow.
Is it supposed to be? I don't
Yeah.
check the weather. I just wait for it to
just checked
surprise
today.
me.
Yeah, same.
I gotta check the weather.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't crossed into like the adulthood yet, where I like
That's a very adult
watch
thing
the
to check the
news
weather.
or like check the weather.
I don't know
like,
if I ever
read a
will.
paper.
I don't know if I ever will.
I've never
to be
bought
honest.
a newspaper. I don't think I ever will.
The
You
weather's
will-
usually that's not going to be an adult thing. Our generation, dude. Like nobody's going to be buying newspapers this generation. I don't think so.
know.
Who the fuck's going to
It's
buy?
like the people that buy vinyl will go back
Yeah,
and be
exactly, dude.
like, I get my news from the paper.
Like, fucking sometimes
it'd be like a
getting the
hipster
black
thing.
ink
Yeah.
all over my hands. When I put my face on it, it picks up all the oil. It's cool. Can't do that on my laptop. It's gross.
I don't know. The weather's usually fucking wrong anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Dude, how are you going to make paper mache without newspaper?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Once the newspaper business goes out of business, there goes
Just
paper
gonna
mache
sell
art.
blank newspapers, too.
Elementary school art teachers are going to be out of luck. They're going to have to
Yeah.
figure out a whole new curriculum. They're like, well, there's no
Crayons
more
are gonna go through the
newspapers
roof.
anymore.
Everyone buy Crayola.
You better get good at drawing, kid, because your paper mache days are over.
Two big swigs live from the studio.
I'm
It's your
Jimmy
boy,
Selesky.
Eric Glazer. Guys, tonight we have a packed couch. We got
If you want to be on camera, by the way, you can scoot there. If you don't
Yeah,
want to be
come
on
on, man.
camera, it's all
you
good.
can get over there.
Bring it in. We got John Burkhardt of the Thunder. Is it Thunder Club or the Thunder
It
Club?
is just Thunder Club.
Thunder Club. It's always tough.
And we also got Juice Bruns.
What's
sitting
poppin'?
Sidecar.
Hell yeah,
Third
dude.
time back.
With a
Yeah,
loose
man. Third
mic.
time. This is your first time, dude.
Starting
You
to feel
know,
like home a little
I'm
bit.
I
excited.
feel like it's been a long time coming, dude. It was a long time coming.
Yeah, okay. So, very weird story. I saw the batteries on the table and it just sparked my memory. Monday night, I ran out of batteries at my job. So, like, the wireless mics were about to go out, so I had to, like, run out and get batteries, but I was down at the Hippodrome. So, the, like, closest place was Lexington Market.
Oh, dude.
And,
no.
dude, have you ever bought loose batteries before?
They
That
sell
shit was
loose
tight
They
as
batteries?
just
hell,
sell
dude.
them like per battery.
They had Lucy everything.
I
there,
feel like
dude.
you
It
could
was
just
nuts.
barter with them at that point.
Dude,
feel like
I
you
got
probably
6 for
could, yeah.
6. It was.
6 for
I
6?
feel like it's a pretty good deal.
Were they like
Not too bad.
Energizer or were they
They're
just
like Duracell.
Dude, I didn't realize
Yeah.
how expensive batteries are.
Batteries are expensive.
They're
Yeah.
fucking.
That
They're
expensive.
fucking. I went to the fucking CVS to buy batteries for this, and I was like, $10. That's more than $1 a battery, dude. What the fuck?
I got a deal.
Jesus. Wait, what
No
did you?
packaging
Going to Lexington
costs.
to
Yeah.
sell batteries from now on.
What did you buy him for?
6 for 6.
That's a good deal, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Lexington Market next
Damn
time.
bargain.
Shit
Yeah,
runs out.
drive
of
all the way
batteries.
down there.
When I was living at my parents' house,
Rarely do you
batteries
ever
were just-
want to go to Lexington Market.
If I'm in the area, I'll go. I got some dope food, but like
They
only
do,
during
though.
the day.
Yeah,
Only-
like daylight is.
yeah.
Is there like a different law in the city that allows them to sell loose items, or do the cops just not care down there? Because you can't buy like a loose cigarette at
I mean, it's
7-Eleven.
just
like
like
there's
it's
bigger
a matter of
problems
like
than just loose
no,
batteries.
it's like a matter of like inventory and stuff for bigger stores. So like CVS isn't gonna sell fucking loose batteries, but if it's like a mom and pop shop or whatever, they don't care. If they want to make money, they want to make money.
But some of those cigs, like I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think for cigarettes,
I have
it's a
cigarettes
different thing.
and batteries right in front of me, perfectly prepared for this
It's a
conversation.
different thing because cigarettes have a tax on them. There's no battery tax.
They're selling loose cigarettes.
The
Yeah, you're selling
fucking
loose
power
cigarettes
tax.
without taxing them.
Yeah, dude, I don't know
can't
how
do
that
that.
shit works. I don't know.
But
at
also,
all.
you can't. Can you tax an item twice?
double tax. I don't fucking know,
What are there?
dude.
20 cigs in there? That's
That
20.
just sounds wrong. I feel like you cannot do that.
I feel like you can't double tax. That's called a surtax.
no taxation without.
And I say no, sir. No, sir. You cannot do that. What show were you guys talking about earlier? You're talking about something doing with Gustavo, and I'm assuming it's not the Gustavo that I know, but the Gustavo that my brother always mentions as well.
Yeah, he's a photographer. He's super dope. Met him last June when I did my first opening gig at the Howard Theater, and he was there shooting for the other opener, and then he ended up shooting for me. And I remember like a week after the show, he sent me this stuff. Not even, probably it was like 5 days after, and it was the first time in a long time where, especially from like a live performance standpoint, when I looked at the pictures, it literally just like zapped me back to that moment,
Oh,
and I like
sick.
relived it for a second, and I was like, I want this guy to shoot every show I do.
That was a powerful way to describe it, dude.
Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
that's
it.
well. That's
Legit.
really well said. Because you look at them and you're like, damn.
I got the chills the
yeah.
first time I looked at it. I was like,
You're-
dude, because it was like the first time I ever performed in front of a crowd of that size. And I was like, you know, I'm sure you can relate too, when you're performing, it's kind of like a whirlwind. It sometimes it just goes by so quick. It's hard to like really grab on to like the present moment when you're there. And he was the first photographer ever that did that. And I was like, and he doesn't charge a lot. He's a really cool, like chill dude. He's like all business. He shows up mad early, you know.
That's
he works
dope.
really fucking hard. And
Did you said he did a shoot for you as well? Was it a shoot, or did he just film something like that you did live, like a performance?
No,
of
he
yours?
did photos for us at Tiger Fest. And
Did you play Tiger Fest?
Yeah.
When was that?
month ago?
Yeah,
3
something
weeks
like
ago?
that.
Now, did you guys have to
April
do the whole like
26th.
battle of the bands process to get in there?
Yeah, it
And
was
you
a
won it.
whole. We technically,
How was that experience? 'Cause I've
technically,
heard
yes.
mixed reviews
Oh
on how
my
that goes.
God, it was a nightmare.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, yes, I knew it.
If I'm honest with you, it was a nightmare. It was weird though, because on the flyer it says there's 3 categories. There was hip hop / singers, there was bands and DJs, and they said that on the flyer it was like all this fine print stuff. It was just kind of bizarre.
Too much. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was only one hip hop group or singer group, so they were in. They won, which was weird. And then there was 3 bands, and then one of the bands dropped out because timing just didn't work out. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then after we finished, like after everything was said and done, the DJs literally had like a 45-minute set each. There was 3 DJs. It was ridiculous. They each got like, it was this weird DJ battle thing, and they just kept. It was like each DJ would get 5 minutes, and then the next DJ would get 5 minutes. Like, yo, DJ, blah blah blah. Like, let's hear what you got, and like everybody be like, find that shit. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was so much. It was way too long, and by the end of it, we were all sitting there, and we were like, nah, we didn't win. Like, it's, you know, I was there, and I was like, I don't know why I'm still here. I should have
You
just
weren't
gone
competing
home.
against the DJs.
No, but like that was the confusing part. We were like, are we competing against the DJs? Like, who are we competing against? Because there was, at that point, it was us and another band, and then the hip hop guys. And
But the other band dropped out.
yeah, so it was just
So it was 2 bands, 3
bands.
DJs, and a hip hop group.
Yeah, and
They all walked into Tiger Fest.
basically, I mean, one of the
So
DJs.
why'd they
won.
have the battle of the bands then? At this
Because that's
point-
the format they were working with. See,
Yeah.
when I was going there like a while back, when I was going there, they actually had it was done well because they actually had a legitimate battle of the bands in the Union Hall, and so like I saw when I was there probably as a freshman, and I watched like 5 bands get up, and they were all pretty decently good, and then one of them, I guess one of them wins, and then they would literally on Tiger Fest, because they would do it as one day, and then they would go up on the stage before the actual headliner and play like as the opening band before the headliner at Tiger
Yeah,
Fest.
that's what we did.
That's
And-
what they did.
Yeah.
Okay, because we had
Yeah.
these guys in here before that said that 2 years ago they won that competition, and then they had divided it between 2 nights. So like
That's what they
had,
did this year too.
Oh,
That's
so
what
y-
they've been doing. I'm pretty sure.
But so the night that you guys played was not the night that the headliner.
no, that wasn't like the main night. That night was Chase Bryant, who's a country guy.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, he was cool. He's a small guy, by the way, like super small, little guy.
Most country guys are. Kenny Chesney, very small guy.
I was super surprised.
Big
Big
yeah.
hair, small guy.
But I feel like that ruins it kind of because like the whole point is like you're supposed to be the. I'd be like if you got like you do a lot of opening gigs, like if like you're like opening for fucking what's the guy
Made in Tokyo.
Yeah, like something like that, and they're just like yeah you're gonna open up for Made in Tokyo. He's playing on Saturday. You're like great, what time do I show up? He's like 6 o'clock Friday, dog. Be there. You just fucking hop on stage. It's like what's the fuck? He's not even gonna fucking be there.
Right.
I'm just playing. It's like a different show. You know, I don't know. I feel like Towson really fucked that up.
Oh, dude, they could give less of a shit about us. It was such a nightmare. Literally the whole process. Okay, so back to the actual battle of the bands. They were saying like who won or whatever, and the guy was like, "Oh, we have a surprise winner," and it was the hip hop dude. I was like, "Oh, okay." It was like a weird like. I'm not surprised, but this is just bizarre. And then it was down to the two, because they were like, now we have, basically, they were like, without saying it, they were like, we have one loser, because there was 3 live acts. You know what I mean? There was the 2 bands plus the hip hop duo. So the hip hop duo won. Like they were done. Okay, so it was down to 2 bands. It was us and I can't remember the other band's name was, but they were like, "Oh, Thunder Club," and we were like, "Oh yeah, sweet, great, this is awesome." And in the back of my mind, I was thinking to myself, like this was a month down the road or whatever, but when they pull out the times for the show, I was like, I have just the weirdest feeling that they're gonna do us, then the hip hop duo, then the headliner. And when I heard it was Chase Bryant, I was like, okay, there's some hope because he's a band, we're a band. Like, it makes sense. And then they came out with the times, and it was us, hip-hop duo, and then them. I literally, that day, went into the CAB office, which is the Campus Activities Board. I went in there, and I was like, yo, what is going on?
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I was like, can you please explain to me what is happening?
They just don't apply. Oh my god.
Oh, it was like just simple logic. And the girl, like, she looked at me like I was speaking Chinese. It was crazy.
She's like,
she had
boy, girl, boy.
She had zero experience in event planning.
None of them do. None of them do.
Oh my god, the guy that was in charge of the Battle of the Bands. I was talking to the sound guy, and I was like, "Yo, do we get a sound check?" Because it was like quick, changeovers. Like it's not like we got a 5-minute or 10-minute sound check, which would have been nice, but that's just not the way those things work.
They're gonna do it.
And I was talking to the sound guy. I was like, "Do we get a sound check?" And he was like, "Nah, you guys I think are last," or something along those lines. And I said, "Okay, is it cool if we leave?" Because we went to Bateman's and got a beer. And then I got all these random texts and emails saying, "Where are you? You need to come back and do sound check." And I said, I talked to the sound guy. I literally had a conversation with the guy who is in charge of the noise that comes out of the speakers. It was crazy. So anyway, I was in the CAB office and I was talking to this girl. I said, "What is going on? What is happening right now?" And she looked at me like I was crazy. Like I had just taken. It was like I was. What's that guy's name in that Denzel movie when he takes PCP?
Training Day?
Yeah, Training Day. It was like I had just taken PCP and I walked in there. I was like, "Yo, what is going on?" And she just looked at me while I was saying. I didn't even say anything explicit. I was like, "What is your reasoning? I just need to understand. At what point did you go? It makes sense to put a rap duo before a country artist."
They apply. Dude, it's the most frustrating thing because you're looking at something like that, Towson, which is a fairly big school. Second biggest in Maryland,
College Park.
And like it's a place where we can get real talent coming through. It's an opportunity to get real talent coming through Baltimore, and it's really an opportunity when you do that Battle of Bands to expose and put on exhibit real talent from Baltimore. To really give these guys a chance to really show you what you're made of. And it's fucking managed by these people who have not only zero concern for any of the shit we just said, but also even if they did have a concern, they have no fucking clue how to do it anyway.
Yeah, no, they're just doing it to pay for their dorm.
Oh my god, dude! It made me so mad. I had nothing but frustrating experience with the CAB because they just don't. It's like
they just don't care.
Why do you do this? Why are you even in this like line of business if you don't ever care to be efficient at it? Like, why don't you just do something else?
I know.
Maybe be a lunch lady. I don't know. Do something that you can handle.
RA or
Cut the
something.
grass.
God, they make me mad, dude. They make me so mad. And that's it's just a ways like
It was tough to deal with. Like, and then the actual day of the show, we got it switched. So then it was rap duo us, and I was like, I got what I wanted.
That was good. I
was totally happy with that. And then the day of the show, for months they had given us the times. We were supposed to play from like 8 to 8:30, and then Chase was supposed to play from 9 to 10. Like it was written, in email. That's pretty much a contract.
How do you think Chase Bryant felt about this whole situation?
Oh,
Can you imagine
dude, it got way worse. He ended up complaining because he wanted to play from 8:45 to 10, and our set technically ended at 8:30. So his it wasn't his manager. He was the management, or he was the representative from Babco, which is what pretty much like every university goes through to get artists, because
Babco.
because the kids that are involved don't understand how booking works. They don't know how to negotiate.
Clearly.
And I'm not saying that I know how to negotiate, but I know how to contact a human being and just be like, hey, you want to play this show? It's really not all that difficult. Like, you just find their management. But needless to say is like he wanted to play from 9:45 or 8:45 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the manager that was there came up to us and was like, so you guys are playing from 7:45 to 8:15, right? And we were like,
Of course.
no, we're playing from 8 to 8:30. We have it. I have an email. I'll show it to you. Showed it to him, and he was like, okay, like, this is fine, whatever. And I was like, we were all just sitting there and thinking.
Now, is this a student or is this like
this
an
was a guy? This was
administrator?
no. He was completely separate from Towson. Like, he was not affiliated with Towson.
So he's
other than the
probably
fact that-
dealing with some communication from somebody that you communicated with that is just completely fucking off.
Yes.
At this point.
Yes.
So now he's thinking you guys are the ones that are off, but in reality, it's fucking Cab all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Always.
Cab, dude.
They're oh my god.
blowing it.
I don't even know if this matters if it's out on the internet, but whatever. I interviewed for 2 positions there and didn't get either of the positions. And it was crazy because they called me and they were like, I said, is there something I can improve on? Is there something I did in the interview that was just, like I could just do better about? And they were just like, no, the other candidates had more experience than you. And I just
Like, I'm sorry. What?
sat there and I was just like, okay. I mean, and I'm a little bit older. I'm 25, so
Yeah.
and I've had a marketing internship with 930 Club. I interned with Bopa, who does Artscape and all that stuff. And it's like, I don't know how else I could have like proven myself.
Dude,
Yeah,
when I
it was
went
crazy.
there for 1 year. So you went to Towson?
I'm
for a
still
bit?
there. I have another year left.
Okay.
in
I went
business.
there for 1 year, and while I was there, I was looking for a place because I've always wanted to kind of find like a place where we could get like a bunch of bands to come out and play and like market it as such, because Union sells alcohol and all kinds of other things. And so I typed up this long ass email, like this nice ass, like, I was
This looked
19,
good.
probably could type a better one now, but it looked good for the time.
There was paragraphs,
It was a good,
sentences,
it was
there was
a good,
commas.
It was a good 2011 email. Like it really set the bar high for that year. And I send it out, and I mean, we're talking like F. Scott Fitzgerald level, and they fucking,
Midnight in Paris. He went back in time. They came up to Jimmy and were like, I need you to write this email.
like I really laid it out there, dude. Like the vision, everything. I was like, let's do this. And I get this 1 sentence response saying like, hi, Jimmy. This really isn't the kind of thing that our university is interested in propping up, or something like that. Something along those lines. And I was like, then what are you interested in propping? What exactly do you do? Like, because if it's not put the community on black and like put it out there, and you have somebody who's literally saying, guys, I will do the legwork for you. Like,
Yeah.
I'll go out and find the bands.
Yeah.
I'll go out and give them times where they actually start and actually stop. You don't have to worry about fucking up anything.
All you have to
Let
do
me
is
ju-
just put the name on, like that it's Towson University affiliated.
And
Even at that point, you shouldn't have even gone through the university. You could have just done that at somebody's house.
you could.
I mean, in hindsight, but
Yeah, yeah. And
I
it's
see your frustration with that.
my whole thing was I wanted to tap into the college, but the college has
Yeah.
no interest in tapping into the city. So
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna fucking do? They just don't get it, man. They just don't get it. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
That's why I dropped out. That's exactly why I dropped out, dude. They
I
just weren't on the
don't
same
blame you.
page.
I mean, I have some really good teachers, I have to admit, but if
What are
I
you
had
studying
my,
there?
Marketing. If I had my choice, not to defer you from going there, because the art school is like it's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah, I'm enrolled there for the fall. Just finished at CCBC. So.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't go back. Like, if I had my choice, if I was 18 again and I was looking at schools, I wouldn't.
You can use it. You can use the education, and that's why, like, I mean,
But
I
that's
think
why
about,
I'm there,
Like, you can
strictly.
use the education, and mostly you can use the connections you gather from just being at a certain school. But Juice, especially somebody like you, dude, you're gonna go there and you're gonna be in classes with people who are studying what you don't even you may or may not accredit this to yourself, but you're already doing in a way what they want to study to do.
Yeah.
Both of you
Right.
guys are.
You have a leg
And I
up
thought
on
about
that
too,
competition.
like, and that's why for a while I like kind of beat myself up because it's like, I didn't go to college right out of high school because I wasn't playing sports anymore. I didn't really know what to do. But now looking at it, I'm like, okay, I'm 23 and I'm going in as like a first semester junior, right? But again, like you guys are saying, that's a total advantage because I've already gotten such a big taste of like what I want my career to be. You know, I'm somewhat immersed in it already. You know,
And you have real world experience.
Yeah,
You
totally.
have real world experience with
Totally.
contacting somebody, setting something up. I went down to CCB to record a studio session with my brother, and we kind of overlap with the people that were right before us. And I'm going in there and like I'm sitting there miking up the drums because we were recording a drum take that day. And people that are in the final class to get their fucking 2-year degree for sound engineering have no fucking clue how to mic a kick drum. No fucking clue how to set up overhead. Just setting it up arbitrarily. They're not fucking measuring it from the snare or anything. Like, just fuck it. Put up 2 mics. Just see how it sounds. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is unfucking real. Unfucking real. But at the same time, unfortunately, from what I can gather at the moment, is that piece of paper looks good to certain people. But, I mean, it doesn't mean shit in my book.
It does,
Yeah.
but it only takes you so far.
Yeah. It depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's
If you're trying to look good for somebody else's, like, I don't know, if you're trying to make yourself look good for somebody else to hire you, then yeah, all that shit matters.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to be dope, there's a million ways to do it.
yeah,
Absolutely.
a million ways.
A million
to be
ways to
dope.
do it.
That's
But
a
I
book.
think
That's a book right there.
I've thought about a lot. I've invested a lot of time in school already. Like I've put like 2 full years into it. So I was like, might as well go get my undergrad right. But also, Bats, I think when you guys were mentioning this, it's such a networking opportunity.
It is,
There's thousands and thousands of kids at our age who are open-minded to music, open-minded to new things, are trying to like be innovative and do cool shit.
Yeah.
And that can connect you with it. And I think there's no better, well, maybe there is a better place, but it's at the top places to connect and meet with people trying to do
for
that
sure.
shit.
Especially just going into the music program there. You're just going to
Totally.
meet so many other like similar-minded people.
I'm
who
actually
just
going
hook
to the
up with.
art program.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going into because it's interesting. Like I do hip hop, but like I'm not really trying to pursue like an engineering degree or like anything like that. And I don't play an instrument yet. But so yeah, I'm actually going there to do graphic design and then a minor in business because my thought is like when I graduate, I want to be able to do anything like internally and not have to outsource for anything. Artwork, posters. You name it. I just want to be able to do it, but also have a little
For sure.
taste of business as well. So
College is really the last time in your life that you're going to be surrounded by people who still have like dreams in a way. Like people are still young enough to want to do something other than what they're probably going to wind up doing, if that makes any sense.
it totally does. I
And
agree.
so like, when I stopped going to school, the first thing I noticed was like, this is just life now. Like I go where I work and the other people that work with me go there too. And unless you make an effort to fucking step outside of your little box and go and find those people that are doing stuff, that's how you fall into that's what you should be using college for. That's
agree.
absolutely what you should be using college for, if nothing else. Possibly nothing else. Who knows? But that's
Yeah.
it, dude.
I mean, the connections you make in and around campus is like, it's just one of the intangibles of
Yeah.
college. Because I know people that didn't go to college and know that single aspect is like the one thing that they regret about not going to college.
Right.
Is meeting people. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, dude. Another beer?
Yeah. Definitely.
Gotcha, man.
Each one. You good, Eric?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm in Jimmy's boat too. Dropout, chilling, killing.
Chill.
But I don't know. I think for whatever it is I do, I feel like I don't think I could have gotten there from college. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the way I've like met people doing like comedy or like video shit, like I don't think I would have made those same things at school.
That's
yeah,
a different
it's like
avenue.
to each, like it just depends on what field you're in. I think you're right, because not for everybody is it necessarily the right thing, or gonna be something. If you miss out on it, it will limit you from making those connections. But I feel like there is a large area of like career paths or whatever you want to pursue where it will be an enhancement.
I mean, there's absolutely certain career paths, and there's a certain amount of education that you can't. I mean, the amount that you can learn from, like, okay, for instance, sound production, something like that. I can go on YouTube and watch videos about anything I fucking want to watch, and it's free. It's fucking free. But at the same time, you miss out on the intangible of like so many of the people I know, and so much of the world is entirely, I know it's so cliche to say, but it really is about who you know. It really fucking is. And it doesn't mean like you know some plug or something like that. It just means like that's how shit just kind of falls together. Like, oh, that's my boy, and like he's friends with this guy, and like, yeah, we wound up doing this thing with them. And it's like, that's how everything works.
Absolutely.
It's not, you know, it doesn't, you know, it's not like when people say who you know. When I used to hear it when I was younger, I was like, oh, so I just got to meet somebody that's like really important. No, it's like, no, you just got to know people, really. That's the first thing. Just know a lot of people, be good in a lot of people's books, you know, so that like your name comes to mind when something happens. And then it all kind of falls in place from there. And so if you're sitting in your fucking garage watching YouTube videos, you kind of miss out on that, you know, because you're not in class with a, you know, audio engineer professor who knows somebody down at Atlantic Records who, you know, he notices you're good at what you do and he hits him up, hey, I got this student, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
totally.
So that's important. That's definitely important. But it's a means to an end. It's a means to an end, and it's efficient for a lot of people. If you're trying to become a lawyer, if you're trying to become a doctor, you can't become a doctor. You can't become a lawyer without going to college.
Without school, yeah.
There's a, you know, so you have to basically step back.
YouTube. So Doc, where did you get your degree?
didn't.
YouTube University.
Yeah. I saw this surgery. It only had 21 thumbs
scalpel.
down when I watched it.
I
assume
watched
it's
like
correct.
a 3-minute video.
I assume
Like
to
you
dislike
just take the appendix out. It's fine. Not a big
fantastic
deal.
like to dislike ratio on this surgery that I watched. We're good to go.
A lot of positive comments too. So.
You just got to step back and look at who you are and just kind of work from there, you know, because you don't want to fall into the trap of being convinced that this is the only way to do it, because that's what I feel like so many people in our generation especially have been just kind of fucking convinced that, like, if you don't go to college, you're not going to be shit. And everybody's just like, oh, my God. Like,
Yeah.
Even if you think you're about to be shit, you're still like, I'm not going to be shit. I'm not going to be shit unless I
Yeah.
do this. So, you know.
The other sad part about that is how much people shit on like trade school. Like all that shit is really, really important. And I have a
And you
friend
make bank.
my friend works for BGE Home, and he dropped out of school. I think he was a bio major, but it didn't really like it didn't float his boat, and he went to trade school for HVAC, and now he's making bank. He owns a house, and
Yeah, dude, AC repair people, they make like close to like $100K a year.
yeah.
So
That's
much of it is
crazy.
just
Yeah.
like even for me, like I was a bartender / waiter for the longest time, and you can make really good fucking money doing that. Now, obviously, you don't want to be a fucking
If you
bartender.
go to Vegas,
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody today about that. The girls in Vegas, the cocktail waitresses, can make up to like $100K.
Yeah, they can make six. First of all, Vegas,
They don't save it, but they can make
of course
$100K
not.
a year.
But the
It's
thing is,
crazy.
it's like, you know, like I could be working at a restaurant, at a nice 5-star restaurant, serving tables, and I could be making as much as a teacher makes starting out. Easily,
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah, totally.
But when you get in a conversation
That's why
at
teachers
your
do that.
10-year reunion, and you talk to everybody, and one person says, "Oh, I'm a teacher in Anne Arundel County," and the other person goes, "Yeah, I'm a bartender." Blah blah blah. Who's like it's just
It's less
all-
valid in a lot of people's eyes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's not really about like your boy at BGE Home. Like he's making potentially probably more money than a lot of people who graduated from college and are working some, you know, $50K a year job that only would accept. But at the end of the day, you walk in and you say, "Oh, I'm a plumber. Oh, I'm a HVAC installer." It's just that social stigma, and so many people are like,
Yeah.
it's not even about the money. It's just like,
It's just like that blue collar stigma.
which sucks, dude.
yeah.
Which sucks because it really comes down. I'm tired of having awkward conversations with people about what I'm doing. That's annoying, you know. Because at the end of the day, like if you're doing like music and shit like that, it's like you can make a fuck ton of money doing that. But in the meantime, it's like you fucking see people. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, fucking no, like I'm working on this, working on that.
For me as a 25-year-old, when I run into people from high school, they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm a full-time student and I'm in a band." And they're like, "Oh, what's your band called?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, it's Thunder Club." And they're like, I said, "What are you doing?" And like, "Oh, I work at a firm or this and that. Like, I'm a recruiter or whatever."
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It's like, it's that weird feeling of,
we're all around the same age. You're a little bit younger. I'm
Yeah.
24.
Yeah.
Eric's 24. You're
24.
25.
23.
25 this year.
Oh, you're 25 this year, dude?
Yeah, in September. You are too, dude.
Oh,
In,
shit.
we're in August. You're 25 in August, dude.
Sorry, I gotta fucking go. I gotta do something with my life right now. Holy shit. Damn, what am I doing right now?
It's not over yet. It's not
On the awkward conversation, at work the other day, I was bartending with my friend Tim, and we
Where you
were
bartend?
Rouge Catering.
With Tim Jarasinski?
Yeah.
Oh,
he works
shit,
there
dope.
like on
Timmy
weekends.
J.
He got a part-time job at a law firm downtown somewhere. So he works there Tuesday, Thursday, and then he does like the Rouge shifts on the weekend.
There you go.
So we were bartending a wedding, and I found it to be really cool because just like, you get to interact with a bunch of different people, and they're there having a good time turning up, drinking and shit. But it's always through Rouge, I've actually met some people, that I've later connected with music stuff. Right, not often, but it's happened. But I guess it was like 2 weeks ago we were working an event, and I had been talking to like this gentleman, and I gave him my like card, told him what I was doing, and he like turns to his wife and I guess like his wife's sister, and they're like, "Hey, this is Juice, like he's a rapper," and they straight up started hysterically laughing. Like they're like, no, like what do you really do? What do you really do? I was like, Tim like looked like he wanted to punch them both in the face. I looked at him, he's like, dude, that shit makes me so mad. It's like I've gotten to a point where like I almost expect that reaction, right?
Yeah.
You expect some like kind of weird, negative, like judgy kind of thing.
Like you get that like cringe look. Like,
Yeah. And not all the time, because sometimes you get like, that's so dope. Like, I'm happy to hear you're doing something that is like not, the norm or whatever. But there's definitely more often than not. It's like, especially with that, it's a generation thing too, I think.
Dude,
But
those
I just
people
remember being
aren't
so
fucking
taken
happy.
back.
They're not
Yeah,
fucking
I know,
happy
and that's
with
what
their lives.
yeah.
They're fucking sitting there. They're looking at you because their fucking dreams fucking went down in flames. Oh, honey, you just don't know yet. But that's not how life works. No, that's not how life worked for you, bitch.
Yeah.
That's not how life worked for you because you didn't do it right.
Oh, honey.
God damn. That's exactly how they think about it, too.
Yeah.
They just really think they figured it out. But at the end of the day, they're just not fucking happy. And they just don't like seeing other people being fucking happy. They just
Right.
fucking get so mad.
That's why that shit doesn't really upset me that much
Yeah.
anymore. Initially, I like
It's
didn't
just-
have like as thick a skin, and it would really get to me. I would really think about it, like, am I making the right decision? Blah blah. That was like earlier on, but yeah, I have the same mindset on it now. So it's just like I'm unfazed by it, and I'm not surprised by it. when
Just
it
more
happens.
shit to add to your fucking true Hollywood story, dude.
Yeah.
The more fucked up shit happens, the better, dude.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
Agree.
that's
I
why I
agree.
always looked at it.
Behind the
Like this
music
gonna be
with
sounds
Juice.
so much doper once I get to talk about it.
Yeah.
Once I don't sound like an asshole talking about it. In Jimmy's case.
Dude, I get sized up at every opening gig I do because, I'm a suburban white kid in, a hip hop community. And so I stand out, and sometimes not in a good way. But, at the end, it's always love. But like at the beginning of when I step on stage, except for like the Blackburn and stuff like that, but when it's more like straight hip hop, when I step up on stage, I feel the judgment, right?
Yeah.
I feel it. And more often than not, it fades to like a vibe, right? And we connect. But yeah, it's
Because
that's
you
something I
prove
feel
yourself
every time. too, yeah.
like every
Yeah.
time.
I
People
feel
are
like,
always like,
halfway through the first song, people are already vibing.
They're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. But it's like, but I love that. Like, I love that. It's like, because I get to prove them wrong. I'm not going in there like where they're already like. That's cool too, to be able to do like the show we're doing on the 15th. It's like it's all our homies coming to see us. So like we already know they're there.
That's
to
at
have a
the
good
Auto
time and
Bar,
turn
right?
up. Yeah.
Now, what's up with the Canada trip thing? Did you guys didn't already do that, did you?
No, that
gonna
is
be
in July. I'm very excited. My first time out of the country.
My
And
brother's
it's cool
going
that
there
music.
with you,
Yeah,
right?
he's going to be playing a few songs during my set. Him and I have made like 3 songs together in the past like 2 months.
Yeah, I
3
saw that.
months.
How'd you guys come
So
across
basically, what happened was, Jet, one of my good homies that I've known for like a year now,
he is the man. I love Jet.
He's
Yeah,
a
from
good
the
dude,
podcast.
right?
Yeah.
Just like good vibes all the time.
That's still to this day like our most popular fucking episode.
I
dude.
noticed
It
that,
has,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, man.
1,000 views.
until
yeah,
now.
Jet Fuel.
Until now.
Until now, dude. This one's really
Yeah.
really gonna fucking
Sorry,
level
Jet.
out.
We're going to be 25%
You got the
of
JBs
Thunder
on
Club
this
SoundCloud.
motherfucker. Yeah.
All those views.
So there's this YouTube page called Promoting Sound, which is like one of the most popular like kind of like hip hop promoting pages on YouTube. They got like over 300,000 followers or something like that. But anyways, they started putting his music up, and through that, this clothing line, Threads of Dreams, that's based out of Toronto, found him on there. And so they contacted him. They like wanted to do some merch stuff with him, and they actually flew in from Toronto to see our last show at the Autobar. And so they're there, and they're really like, just kind of get a feel for it, vibe with it.
Wow.
And they just were really liking what Jet was doing, and I guess what we were doing too. And so basically they decided to put on an event for Jet, and then Jet invited us to come. So he's headlining. We play before him, and then I believe a few like local acts are opening up for us.
And this is gonna be in Toronto.
In Toronto, yeah, on the 14th. No, the 13th. It's a Thursday. So yeah, we're like his crew and my crew, John and Pete and the full band that I usually play with are like rolling down too. So
that's it. Oh yeah, I guess you're gonna be there as well, dude. That's fucking sick.
So it's super dope too, because like I've never been out of the country, and music's like the first thing taking us there, and they're paying for like our hotels and our like
that's sick.
travel expenses. So
Do you know where it's gonna be at?
Yeah, it's at the Horseshoe Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
It's like kind of like a classic venue like in Toronto.
Dude, I think it's first of all, my brother always fucking in here. We just fucking work on shits together and just talk. I think it's perfect that you guys are in like, I guess what I would consider like a crew-esque type thing where like you guys all bring something really good to the table. Like I will say this, out of all the people that I've met that have come through here, as far as the business side of music goes, Jet's got it figured out, dude. Like that guy, like I've never met somebody who has just like understands the concept of branding yourself, consistency, connections. Like it was unreal, dude.
Social media.
God
fucking-
Totally.
damn. It was like he has a whole
he
fucking new
crushes
level.
social
Dude, he'll
media.
do those like live streams and just crush Q&A.
He just fucking
just out of nowhere,
gets
and
it,
like
dude.
people will just be in there.
Yeah.
He just fucking gets it, dude. Like we went the last show that I was at of yours. It was it wasn't the most recent Autobar thing. I think it was the time before that.
Yeah,
it was
the
probably
Glow.
yeah,
For the
yeah,
EP
yeah.
release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he had a fucking table set up, and like all of his boys were there. They all had a specific job. Like one guy was selling this, one guy was selling that. Jet was the only person who knew me because he had just done the podcast like that week.
Right.
But all of his boys didn't know who I was, or that I knew Jet already. So they're coming up to me like, "Hey, I just want to talk to you a little bit." Like legit, like pitching sales and like sounding good and sounding professional. I was like, I've never seen this out of somebody like that age. It was incredible. Yeah. And then, it's just such an asset to have. And then you guys obviously have, like, my brother, like, I think your asset is, like, you're a really good fucking lyricist, dude. I really enjoy your lyricism. My brother, I like his lyricism, too. My brother's a fucking good producer, too.
He's a beast, dude.
He's a beast at production. And it's like the perfect, it just works, dude.
Yeah.
It just makes fucking sense.
And it's been so cool, like, kind of moving as a unit over the past however long it's been, like 6 months, whatever, because it's just, we're starting to... Again, like you're saying, it's not about meeting like someone who's super important or whatever, but meeting the right people and people that keep you fucking inspired. Like, being around, like I text with Dom almost every day. I text with Jet, not quite as often, but it's like we're always pushing each other to see. So, Jet started doing something consistently where he's putting up a song a week. And like now I'm on my like 7th week of putting up a song a week. And your brother does it like bi-weekly. And it's just like it's like friendly competition in a way. It's like, we just push each other a little bit, But like you said, like your brother, like your brother actually mixes and masters everything for me.
Yeah.
He
told me that.
And he's super like efficient and quick about it, and it's cool too because I don't really give him too much like, hey, I want this to sound like this or this to sound like that. Like he kind of just
he understands what shit's supposed to sound like. He's better in his I still want to work with him a little bit because I think he's never like mixed. He for his project for CCBC, we did like a rock song, and I think there was like some stuff that he hasn't worked with before with like mixing guitars and mixing live drums and stuff like that, and like how to EQ snares and stuff. That takes forever to fucking figure. I still fucking suck at that. But he fucking like, as far as like hip hop, like he just has that talent that like I can acknowledge. Like he's just fucking good at it, dude.
Yeah.
And I can look at my brother and be like, damn, he's better at me than that. Just to fucking look at somebody and just like know how you want it to sound and understand how to make it sound like that. People don't realize how hard that
It's
is.
so difficult.
Everybody hears bangers in their head. I hear
Yeah.
bangers every time I think of a song. Every time I'm like, "Ooh, that's gonna be it," and then I start writing it, and you can just hear it, and you can fucking feel it in your everything. You're just like, okay. But then the process is, how do I make this come out of my fucking speakers?
Right.
That's the art. That
He crushes
He
that.
gets that. He gets that.
And he
A
is
lot of
such
people don't. I
a
don't-
versatile
I don't.
artist too. Like, I didn't realize he could sing right away. Like after we started hanging out and doing music, and then I remember he was like, when I got the Blackberry, what was it, the Blackberry gig? I forget what gig it was. Anyways, he's like, well, I can sing the hook for
It
that.
was the Black Bear gig.
And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm down. And I was like, I guess he can sing. And then he came to practice, and I was just like, jaw dropped. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like his raps are awesome, you know, and he always had like that slight melody in the songs I had heard prior to that. And then he just crushed it. And now I'm starting to see he's adding that his skill in that more into his songs, which is cool.
Dom secretly deep down inside wants to be a fucking singer.
I know.
I'll tell you that.
I
Wants
think
to be
he's
a
like
fucking
easing
singer.
into it.
He
I
really
can tell.
wants. He really
like
wants
his most
to.
recent song, "Thinking." I was like, he sent it to me before he released it. And I was like, dude, I haven't stopped listening to that song. It's like that and "Love" off of Kendrick's album are the only two songs I've listened to over the past like 48 hours. Just go back and forth because
like-
Dom's a little more. That song's a little sad, but like the Kendrick one lifts me up, so it's like that back and forth.
Yeah, man.
But he's so talented, man. It's
Dude,
been such a
I
pleasure.
got a taste
like,
of
hanging
that
with
the
him.
other day too. As a composer, and even I only got a taste of it, but as like a musical director, because there was literally one moment when we were practicing.
and you're practicing my brothers and everything.
He came
Yeah.
over on Monday,
Cool.
and we were practicing for the show, and I can't remember what song we were doing.
It was
but
Gang because there's this like
there's like
breakdown
a
in the
weird-
hook.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
pointing it out to Eric, the bass player, and I was like, he's on it. Like
gets
I could
it.
tell, like
He gets it.
knew
Yeah.
the song, like
He produced it.
inside and out. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell he knew, and I think from a live standpoint, he'll figure it out. But I think that he has that intuition to know what things should sound like.
He's got the musicality, which is something that a lot of.
It's like that Rick Rubin thing. Like
It's
Rick
rare.
Rubin doesn't really know how to play an instrument.
Yeah.
He'll go up. He'll go up to somebody and say, "Hey, I like what you're doing, but play it up here."
You don't have
You know
to
what I
know
mean?
how to play an instrument to know how to make something to know what something's supposed to sound like.
He's like a CEO of musicians, which is bizarre because it's like
But
like a
that's
shit
telling
lead.
Picasso to like use yellow instead of red or something.
Do you remember back in like the 70s and 80s, like it was always like a cool thing to mention, like, oh yeah, he's like in this band, but like he doesn't even read music or something like that. It was always like a thing that was, oh, he doesn't even read music, but he's still so good at rock. It's like now it's like I don't even fucking know anybody. I don't even fucking know anybody who reads music. I mean I can read music. I can read music, but like I can't read music for like guitar. I can read music for like trumpet. I suck at fucking trumpet,
Yeah.
so it doesn't even
Right.
fucking
I mean,
matter.
But
I know you
I
can read
do
music.
that.
You
Yeah.
can read music.
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays that's like, I don't know, the culture is kind of progressed to the point where it's like the musicality lately, and
Well, it's so accessible too. I mean, you can literally go online and look up tabs.
that's
And
what I
that-
can read tabs. I can
Yeah.
read tabs. And first of all, fucking when you're playing guitar, do you play guitar at all?
I mean, I know a little bit.
Yeah.
I
When you
took-
play guitar, it's like
I
you
did
can't
it at
fucking read
Towson. I
music.
took that guitar class
At
in
Towson
senior
High?
year. The biggest joke.
just the thing to do, dude.
Yeah.
No, I never took guitar in high school, but tabs just make sense. Tabs are literally just like, yo, put your finger here, and
Yeah.
you're like, dope. You read a
It
fucking
is-
note,
it
and you're
makes
like,
it so
what
easy.
the fuck does that mean, dog? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you trying to tell me to do? You got a fucking line. You got like an Italian word over forte. I don't fucking know what that means, dog.
That's so forte. Piano.
It's like, dog, I'm playing the guitar, dude.
It's really- it's overwhelming.
Instruments right now.
Dude, the GeoCity tabs were nuts because it would be like ASCII art of just like text, like images of guitars and HTML with like the dots on the fretboards
What?
where you're supposed to
I've
hold
never
them.
heard of this.
I-
Dude,
yeah,
you
this
heard
is
songs and
this
shit? It
is
was
foreign to
dope.
me.
GeoCities tabs?
Dude, like, I don't know, just like random tab sites on GeoCities.
Oh, damn.
I-
Dan, why are you looking at that? You don't play guitar, do you?
No, but I mean, you can just read. It says like E27 or whatever the fuck. It's like Battleship.
Bing.
I'm just trying to formulate why you were looking at these websites, dude.
Dude, there's a lot of stuff on the internet.
I wanted to play music, but I sucked at it, and I knew not to play it
See, I didn't
anymore.
know you tried. That was the thing. You've
Oh,
never
yeah.
spoken to me about a time in your life when you were like, I tried to play guitar.
Yeah, when I was like 6 or 7.
I really tried to teach my brother how to play guitar when we were younger. You know, I taught
Probably
Tim how to
later
play
than
guitar. Tim
Really?
was my fucking boy, dude. I've
Yeah,
known Tim
he's like
for
one of my best friends
ever. Well, since like we were like best buds since like 6th grade. And then obviously when you're a kid, the fucking year differential matters so much more.
So much.
So
A
like
year is like-
a year is
Yeah, it's
like
Especially in
weird.
middle school, dude. Oh my god.
I remember an explicit conversation I had because Tim was 2 years younger than me. Tim and Drew, obviously they're fucking twins. That makes sense. When they were in 7th grade, I went to high school, and at that point, it's like, well, freshman year I was still kind of a fucking bitch. I mean, I was kind of a bitch all through high school, but mostly freshman year. So like, I still hung out with them. But then sophomore year, I was like, I gotta fucking make some moves. But anyway, I remember when I was in 10th grade, I was talking to this girl who was a freshman. And I felt like a fucking like child molester. About it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember talking to Drew, and I was like, yeah, man. There's just one. I told her all about this girl, and I was like, yeah, man. There's just one thing. Because you know when you're a fucking kid, you just fucking say
she's
shit
in
like you're in a
ninth
movie.
grade.
You say shit like you saw in like a Disney movie. Like, there's just one thing though. And he's like, what? I'm like, she's in 9th grade, and he was like, yo, that's weird as shit. And I was like, I know, dude. I'm in 10th grade. It was fucking crazy. That's
We're a
just how
whole
that
year
shit
apart.
was.
It's wild.
Dude, now it's like doesn't even matter. I don't even know fucking years. Like you're a year older than me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you were 09?
Yeah.
Dope. Wait, were you in the
Yes.
same year as like Chaz and all them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, and you know Sam King?
Uh-huh.
I
How
was
do you
in
know
Boy
Sam
Scouts
King,
with
dude?
him,
Oh,
dude.
Sam
Wait,
King,
how?
the real
In
skinny
Boy
guy,
Scouts.
cross country
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
the cross country guy.
Yeah.
He was on the wrestling team for a bit too.
Was he really?
Yeah, he did it. He did it his junior and senior year because he didn't want to do indoor track, which I totally sympathize with because indoor track is. Did you do indoor track?
I did not.
Did you?
I didn't
All right,
do
indoor
any
track was a
sports.
bullshit fucking sport. There's no reason to do it. Honestly, it's like why? It's like just
Yeah.
the worst
Terribly
version of the
boring.
spring
That's what
sport.
I'm saying.
Why am I doing this?
The only good thing is you just get to be inside. You might as well just play basketball at that point.
But the thing is, the track is like half the size, so 2 laps is 1 lap on a regular track.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
that's
like, dude, I
dumb.
can't do this.
Dude, that's boring.
It's
as
hard
hell.
enough
So
to literally
repetitive
run
and,
around the track as it is, and to make yourself do it double. Fuck that,
Dude, I
get the fuck out of here.
hate. I like running on the track. In that, I mean, like 3 weeks ago, I for 1 week ran on the track at Carver High School because I live right across the street at the Kenilworth Apartments. So I would just kind of jog down there. And they got
For
this
1
nice-
week.
For 1 week,
so nice.
I got in a fitness kick for 1 week. Sorry, I'm starting to fucking work out, and then after I was like working on my times and like fucking time and shit. But it's kind of depressing once you get to a certain age because it's like I'm at the age now where I can't do the things I used to be able to do. And it's not because I'm like old, it's just because like I haven't been training to do shit. You
Right.
know? It's like
Yeah.
You have to be consistent with
yeah,
it.
it's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
fucking
warm up to
clocking
it.
my 40 time, and I'm like, that's not gonna
Out
fucking
of
cut it,
breath.
dude. I'm fucking at the end of my 40. I'm like, dude, I feel like fucking high schoolers are looking at me like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this guy doing over there?
Dude, why is that
Fucking-
guy a 5 o'clock shadow?
I feel like a
Does he
fucking
go to
clown.
school?
You look like Jonah Hill in
Yeah.
Superbad when he's on the track and he like runs 10 feet. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I can't do it
Just
anymore.
fucking out. Kids are practicing lacrosse and shit. But the good side of it is it's Carver, so it's
Yeah.
like they're all fucking pussies anyway. So I was like, fuck
I
you
know for their
guys.
sports teams like
Fuck
Carver.
you guys. I'll still be
get
ass
crushed
dog.
every
You
game.
fucking art school faggot. Oh, dude, they fucking get me. But I just decided after that point, I was like, you know what, dieting's way easier. So I'm just gonna not eat a bunch. It's way easier than running. Trust me. Next time
love
you're thinking
running.
about going for a run, don't eat a sandwich instead.
Dude, it's hard on the knees.
Don't eat much
Apparently
before-
terrible
yeah.
for the knees.
Not
Running?
eating a sandwich
Running,
is like
yeah.
20
Yeah.
times easier than going on a jog. Just every time you're like, I'm gonna do this. Just don't eat something instead. It works. It works. You still suck at your 40 time, but doesn't matter. Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be fine.
You know we had Alec on here last week, right?
I didn't know that.
Or 2 weeks
Or
ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Huh?
To it, which is funny because he's like one of my fucking best friends. But he didn't tell me. But he actually just left for LA
Yeah.
Yeah.
yesterday.
He's outie, dude.
How do you fight that?
But yeah, I listened to some of it. It was cool.
That was the conversation I had with him. Was like, a lot of the reason why I think Baltimore music isn't popping right now is this production value. Like you can listen to that song right there, and like just as a song, it's a great song. I mean, it's every bit as good as any song that's popping in hip hop right now. But it's like the production value isn't there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it just needs that fucking like it just needs somebody that's fucking top of the game to fucking hop on the boards and fucking mix it for them. That's really the only difference, man. That's really the only difference.
I agree.
That's how I was trying to tell your boy Neebs before he left, but he's gone now, man.
Yeah.
Can't bring him back.
Yeah.
Can't bring him back. Fuck, dude.
I think LA is gonna be good for him. I think Hollywood's gonna be good.
Have you ever been to LA?
For like a day, I've been around it. I've been to like Malibu and Santa Barbara and like places like that, but I haven't spent a lot of time in LA.
It's
I know
cool.
John
over
went to
there.
school in LA.
How you like it over there? You like it here more, or what?
I think it's like one of those hindsight 2020 things where I should have stayed, but it was tough because it's expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an expensive city.
What were you doing out there for a living?
Nothing. I was lucky. I had my
Nice.
parents to. I had a $70 budget each week, which was pretty much groceries, and then if I could skimp away enough at the end of the week, I'd be the guy walking around at the parties with like 240s in my hand.
Hell
Because
yeah.
that's literally that is what I could afford. Otherwise, like when I moved there, I was
Speaking of 240s, you want another beer?
no, I'm good. Yeah.
Juice, you decided to
I'm
quit
good.
quitting drinking yet? Okay.
I get that.
Not until tomorrow.
Yeah, when I was walking around, I'd be the guy with the fucking 40s. And if anybody wanted to go to the bars, because I was lucky, sort of. I moved there when I was 20, so like for a little bit, and I didn't have my ID at the time. So when we would go to the bars, I'd be like, "Yo, guys, I hope you realize that you're buying my drinks tonight." And they'd be like, "Okay," because I was like, I got lucky, and I just had friends who they weren't rich in any, they weren't like wealthy, but they had enough money to be like, "Okay, sure."
That's dope, dude.
Yeah,
That's dope.
LA was good. LA, like, I have connections there that will, never be broken. Like I have a couple friends out there who I'm trying to put in contact with. Alec, I have a friend who produces. I have two friends who do that out there. But it's tough. Like you have to be fucking balls to the wall.
It's just kind of like a big pond, you know.
It is.
Well,
It's a
compared to, like,
it's a cesspool
Because
of
everyone's
talent,
pursuing
man.
that kind of shit out there.
everybody's trying to do it. It's like, for me, I always viewed it as like I wouldn't go to a city like that until I was at a point where I felt like if you can roll into LA or roll into New York with like I'm the man in Baltimore. Like if you
Right,
can
Like
roll
a
into
resume.
Get to that
something
point first, though.
because
Yeah.
otherwise you're just gonna be fucking working at Starbucks with the rest of everybody who wants to be fucking doing something
Yeah.
dope. It's like,
Yeah.
you kind of, in my opinion, and everybody has their own path. I always imagine that. I remember I went out there one time, and that was I hadn't done shit. I still haven't done shit at all, but at the time I especially hadn't done anything. And I had gone there, and the first thing I realized when I was like walking around with Scott, because we didn't stay anywhere. It was just me and Scott, and we fucking flew out to California, and just like hiked the city for a week. We didn't have any place to stay. We just kind of fucking slept in like the hills and shit. It's kind of dumb, actually, now I think about it. But it was actually a really cool experience. That's like a classic like me and Scott experience. But the first thing I thought when I was out there was like, so many people are out here and everybody's trying to do something.
Huge.
And it's like
It's
you just get
unreal.
lost in the sauce out there, man. It's
Yeah.
like you gotta I really do believe that in this city we have an opportunity to do something here, especially more than ever. Especially given all the things that exist with like the internet and social media and stuff like that. Like you really don't fucking need to go somewhere else to do what you got to do.
I was about to say that with like the power of the internet and social media, it's almost like irrelevant where you are because you can pop off from the internet in like bumfuck. You know what I mean? If you're
really
putting
can.
good stuff
Yeah,
up.
Look at fucking Chief Keef, dude.
yeah, or
Yeah.
Seriously.
There's so
Like,
many artists who just kind of
joke.
like from nowhere, but
and
they
that-
had
yeah,
good
he
quality
had a
shit
good
and they
fucking
put it up
hook,
and people
and
liked
Kanye
it.
was like, "Yo, I like that," and it didn't hurt that he was from Chicago too.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like, if you think about it, he's coming literally from the fucking hood. of Chicago.
It's really at the end of the day, it's
Not
like
that Kanye didn't,
Now,
but-
this is the first time I ever thought about this way, but it's kind of like a big fucking party. Like I remember when I was like 20,
the
I would
internet
try
is
to
a big
throw,
fucking party?
Well, I'm talking about like city to city is kind of like a party. So like, when I was like 19 and 20, I would like try to throw fucking parties because that's like an awkward age when you're like.
That was the
not-
best though. That
Yeah,
was
but the thing is-
best,
but the
'cause
thing
you had
is-
to makeshift shit. You got
Looking back on it, it was dope, but at the time, all I wanted to do was go to the bars. I would be like
That's- yeah.
20 and a
that's
half.
what all the old people were doing. And
Yeah,
it's like
and I'd
you
be like,
want
"Oh,
know
to
anybody,
you want to
right?
grow up.
I want to go to the bars so bad. And so instead, we couldn't get in the bars, so we'd have to throw these fucking parties. So I'd throw these house parties. And throwing a party, there's a lot of science involved. You got to fucking convince. Check.
Oh,
We good?
yep, we're good.
Perfect. When you're trying to throw a party, fucking,
There's so much panic. Where is it?
oh no. When you're throwing a party, a lot of it is like, okay, so it's like a chain reaction. You got to hit up your boys. You got to say, yo, tell your people to come by here tonight. And then they tell people. And then those people might show up and they might see a couple other people. So you got to plan it. You got to have like a couple people there. So when somebody shows up, it's not like fucking 3 people there or something like that. So you show up, there's like 6 people there. All right, understandable. Beginning party stages. Now there's fucking 10 people there. Somebody else shows up. They show up and it just kind of increases. But it's a psychological game because what you're really trying to convince everybody of is that this is where you want to be.
Right.
This is where you want to be.
Yeah.
And if you get enough people to agree that that's where you want to be, well, that's where you want to be.
That's the science of throwing a show.
That's throwing a
Absolutely,
show,
100%.
anything. It's the science of building a city. If you show enough people that this is where you want to be, then it just so happens that that's exactly where the fuck you want to be. So you got to look. I think that's. I'll cut it off there. I'll say that.
No, but like
I'm with
that,
it, though.
That to go off on that is again like the show aspect is like, and that's what I've been thinking too is like with selling our music and even in any aspect, any music in general, like especially with popular music, you have to get girls to like your music.
Yes.
When they
Girls are
like
such a
it,
vital component.
guys, oh my god, it is the vital
The
component.
girls come first and the guys follow.
Because the guys want to impress the girls by buying them tickets to the show that the girl wants to go to, and then the guys also want to go to the show where all the girls are going to be.
Yeah, and you learn that from fucking bars. That why people always make the joke. Oh, how come they never have like dudes' night at bars? Like, how come they always have like?
Because nobody wants to go to dudes' night.
First of all, I'll tell you
Get the fuck out of here.
I'll
You're
tell you
not
what.
gonna have a dudes' night at a bar. You're gonna have a dudes' night at your house and have your dudes
yeah, you
over.
can play
I'll
like
tell you this.
poker.
I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. At my stage in the game, which is I have a
Or you're
girlfriend.
gonna go to a strip club.
I'm 24 years old. I'm doing some shit.
It's always
you know,
dudes
whatever.
night.
I'm not going out on the town to try to prowl for like fucking college girls and shit like that. At my state in the game, if like CVP or Turtle would be like dudes night, fucking 25-cent wings, blah blah blah, I'd be there. I wouldn't care if any girls are there. I wouldn't care. I'm not worried about that. But at the name of the game is the reason they have ladies night is because the girls, like when you're DJing music as a DJ, your goal is to make the girls dance. Guys don't. When I'm at a bar, I'm not like if I'm drunk enough and the song is popping enough, I will go out on the floor and fucking.
That is
Right,
why I
but
go to
unless-
bars now.
I will
Like, I
fucking-
spend most of my nights dancing at bars.
dude.
But that's the best part.
I
That's like
can't.
that's like the best part when you get just drunk enough and
Yes.
it's like 11:45 and you're like you're peaking and you're like, dude, I don't
about
care
to get
what
it
song's
in
about
my
to
yard.
play. I'm about to fucking
At
rip
that
it
point,
up.
yeah, you gotta do that. But at the end of the day, dudes aren't going to bars to dance. They're fucking going to bars to fucking. I mean, okay, I would say that when you go to the bar, getting ass is like the best case situation of that night. So you kind of you spend time. I haven't pre-gamed with my friends in so
If you're
fucking
single.
long.
If
If
you're
you're single, okay. If you're single, if you're single, if you go to the bars when you're not single, not getting an argument with your girlfriend is the best case scenario that night.
Absolutely.
That's like the number one fucking thing. Like if you can make it through the night of drinking without waking up in the morning and having your girlfriend pissed at you, you really succeeded that night. It's a real fucking thing. That's a real fucking
Man,
thing.
I don't
But
miss
as a-
that. I
as-
don't miss that right now. At this stage of the game, I don't miss any.
As a single guy, the best thing you can do is get laid, and then the second best, like, I don't know, the second best thing you can do is witness a fight. You go out to a bar and you watch a
Yeah.
bar fight. It's intense,
And
dude.
you don't get involved.
As
You
long
just
as you're
sit
not
there
in
and
it.
go,
As long as you're,
"Oh,
well, okay.
shit."
I will say this: winning a fight is probably like third place. Losing a fight is the absolute last place thing. If you fucking get in a fight at a bar,
Oh, if you
lose that
end
fight,
up on the floor,
Yeah.
that's worse than.
Don't
That's
even-
Just
worse.
go home. Yeah.
Don't
That's
go out to
worse.
the
Don't
bars.
even
I
go
can't
out
think
to
of
the
anything
bars.
worse than that. I can't think of anything worse.
Stay home.
But witnessing a fight, that's like, dude, I went to the rec room the other night. I fucking watched a fight like. It looked like a pro wrestling fight. Like dudes were like jumping on tables, throwing chairs at each other. I was like,
God.
and you're just sitting there. Just
I'm
being
fucking
like,
just sitting there. My girlfriend's like, oh my god, what's
You
going
guys see
on?
this
I'm
shit?
Like, look,
Baby,
what are we
relax.
doing? Like,
This
just fucking
is-
watch this shit. This
This is
Yeah.
better
great.
than TV.
Yo,
This is great.
Jimmy, have you told the story on the podcast about you wrestling that dude on your birthday?
You told this story, dude. I don't even fucking remember that story. You tell
So-
that story, and I always am sitting. I'm like, I don't remember that. It was my fucking birthday, dude. I
It
probably
was his birthday at
That's a lot of my
CVP. Dom was there, obviously with like a fake or whatever, and then he like loses a knife, but then also Jimmy and Dom get kicked out because they're just drunk. So then like we're all
we got kicked out because we decided
Jimmy's
to
at-
wrestle on the top floor of CVP.
and then they're like, "What? We're brothers. We can't wrestle. We're brothers.
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday, dude." And then Dom's like, "I lost my like fucking like $500 knife, blah blah blah." And then like Jimmy tries to go back in after he got kicked out. He gets kicked out again. And then like we're just hanging outside in like the back alley. And it comes up that like Jimmy was like a wrestler in high school, and like our friend Ashley Mears had like a guy that was hanging out with her, and he was like trying to like impress her or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, I'll wrestle Jimmy right now. I bet I could beat him." Blah blah blah. Like in the middle of the alley, like right next to the dumpster with like trash juice all over the
I
ground.
really wish
yeah.
I fucking remember this. It
Gravel and
sounds
shit.
so dope.
So then like they square up and they're about to start wrestling, and me and my fucking like girlfriend are just watching, and I'm like, yeah, let's stand back for a second, but also just watch, because like I've seen like a couple people just underestimate Jimmy's like physical ability in my life, and it's always like so funny. So they like square up, and like within like 3 seconds Jimmy just fucking slams the dude on the ground.
I regret that, dude.
And then he just, like, taps him out, his like fucking elbows bleeding and shit. Like not Jimmy's, but the other dude. And he's
You have
just
no
like,
recollection of this?
dude,
Nah, I
and
don't
he
remember this
just
at all.
the kid tried to play it off so like, oh my god, it was so funny. The rest of the
dude.
night he was just like, yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'm wearing like, you know, if I had my different shoes on, you know, I got
It's the
better
shoes.
footing.
That's what it was.
Yo.
It's like, oh
Look at my
God.
New Balances, bro.
Jimmy's like, I was barefoot, dude.
I
There's
don't
Bear
fucking
Grylls in it.
Damn, dude.
Jimmy, aren't you Greek?
Yeah.
So like at that point, I would never try to fight wrestle anybody who's Greek. You're already at a
It's in his blood,
disadvantage.
dude.
Yeah,
Genetically
that's just
better at wrestling.
yeah, that's
than
just
you.
His
ancestry.
ancestors like
yeah.
come into his body and
Yeah, they just take
strength.
over.
Channel Hercules, Achilles, Zeus, everybody.
Channel Achilles,
Yeah.
dude. You're in every weakness ever.
The first Olympiads are just coursing through your veins.
Ah, dude, those are the days, man. Fucking A. Damn, dude. That was a good night. So that would be.
Dude, it was a good night. It was so funny.
That's like the second best thing. But still, if I had gotten laid that night,
He might have. I don't know. Ricky was there.
Win a fight and get laid?
win a fight
Laid
and
because
get
you win
laid,
a fight.
that's the number one fucking thing you can happen at a bar. Anything else is like, I might get a fucking cheesesteak or something.
Oh, the real.
But that's hype too. Like,
Anything you decide to do with a bunch of people after the bars is really fucking fun.
yeah.
Like,
You guys
except-
fuck with kebab? You
Are you
guys
talking
dig
about
that
Curb?
shit?
Are you
Or
talking about
Curb, yeah.
Curb.
Curb is
It's
dope.
right next
Never
to
had it.
Subway
right across from
in the middle of
library.
Towson.
Oh, I know
like
exactly
around the
what you're
corner,
talking
right?
about.
Yeah, yeah.
Curb, dude.
Wait,
never
people have been
been
telling
there.
me to try that out. I've yet to try it, but
legit,
I need
dude.
to.
I get my
soon.
hair cut right next to that place.
Oh
There you
yeah,
go,
at
dude.
Stairway to Steven
to
or
Steven.
whatever.
I get my hair
Yeah.
cut at that
Oh, it's
place.
right
dude.
there?
At Curb, dude. They fucking
Curb.
I go in there,
While
I
I'm
get a
eating my
kebab.
kebab, bro.
I get a fucking kebab.
Yeah, that's it. They do that shit. They got snowballs
Yeah, I do a
too.
2 on
They
the
got
side and a
snowballs,
fade in the
cut
back.
hair.
And I'll also make a gyro. Thank
They
you.
got
Yeah, thank you.
bathrooms.
Real quick. This show at the Auto Bar is June 15th.
Thursday, June 15th.
Thursday, June 15th.
Winter doors.
Doors are 7 o'clock. Music starts at 7:45. So Thunder Club is performing. Don Neal, Selesky, Jet Bailey, and myself.
That's lit.
Hell
And
yeah.
what time do the doors open?
7.
7
And then
p.m.
Don
Eastern
Neal's
time.
the first act. He starts at 7:45.
I think we should go to that too. I think we should.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
schedule
You
a
absolutely
Yeah,
Podcast
I'm
podcast for a
getting in
different day that week.
a new camera toy, so I'll fuck around with it out
Hell yeah.
there.
I think Scott's going to be there too.
Hell
He said
yeah.
he'll be home then.
That'll be dope.
Yes, I just got off the phone with Scott yesterday. He's actually in Baltimore. All
Yeah, he's
this
in
week.
Baltimore now.
Yeah, I'm filming a video with him next week.
There you go, dude.
Hell yeah.
Very high.
Up in New York.
Here, actually.
Oh, cool. So
Actually,
he's actually
at-
gonna be in Baltimore. Okay.
We're gonna shoot it all at my my stepmom is a therapist, so we're doing it at her
Like a
private-
psychological therapist.
Yes. Oh,
Dude, I
hell
would
yeah.
love that.
So
too.
she's dope. But she's letting us use her private practice like office to do it because it's a new song I released. So it's like there's these 2 characters in it. So it's basically gonna be all in the editing with Scott, but it's basically like my younger self talking to my present self.
It's
So gonna
amazing.
be-
It's
gonna-
amazing, by the way.
It's gonna be
It's-
like a therapist conversation.
It's
So
That would be
cool.
sick.
I was like,
It's
no
very
better
cool.
spot to do it than an actual like
Yeah.
That's gonna be sick.
therapist.
It's very like the song itself is really fun to listen to.
I appreciate that.
And what's it gonna be called?
It's called Game Over. I released a song a few weeks ago. What? What was that?
I felt that power.
Yeah.
I felt that power. Does somebody have a lighter? You have a lighter?
Yeah, I got
I'm
it
so
later.
confused why you just did that.
I think it made
I
sense.
just- it
I
was
think in the
just-
real big picture of things, it made
It
sense.
made sense.
It was just my affection for
Yeah.
just letting you know how great that song is.
Yeah.
Game over.
So
That's
you're
dope.
welcome.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Still
We got it
confused,
on
but it's
camera
alright.
too. That's gonna count. That's gonna count.
Yeah, we got the bulge too.
And so
The
basically-
immediate twitch.
You're.
It's like, what the fuck? I was so confused. I still am, and I forever will be, but that's okay.
It'll make sense eventually. So the other guys in your band, you got your brother
Peter Burkhardt.
Peter Kirby Burkhardt.
Yeah, why do you know his
I
middle
don't
name?
fucking know, dude. Is that his real middle name?
Uh-huh. That's
Why?
my
That's all
that's
I
my
call him.
dad's middle name.
Well, it's also his name on Facebook.
That
So,
actually,
that
yeah,
helps,
that's
that
true.
helps. I don't just
True.
fucking study people's IDs and shit. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Garrett Cusack and who else?
Dennis Chen.
Dennis Chen. I
And-
knew there was an Asian guy in there. I saw the
yeah,
Asian guy. I was
we're
like, that's not Garrett.
Yeah, we're diverse.
Very diverse.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
And Connor Johnston.
And so, will all of you guys be playing behind Juice, or who's playing behind
No.
Juice on the
Okay.
Canada?
So
and
Thunder
Baltimore?
Club is its own thing.
Yes.
And then me and Pete play with Juice, and then we recently added Eric Laughlin, along obviously with
Eric Laughlin. Does he? I know Eric Laughlin, by the way.
Lord Business.
He is
Yeah.
that
That's my DJ.
Dude,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Jordan.
that is that who Lord Business
I
is?
fucked with
Yeah.
Lord Business.
That's Eric Laughlin.
No.
No.
I wish.
Okay.
That'd be so
He just blew my fucking mind right now. Okay.
No. Lord
He's
Business is
Lord
Jordan
of the
Taylor.
Bass. Yeah.
Or- oh, he plays
Jordan.
bass. Well, who plays?
No.
Eric
Eric
Laughlin
Laughlin
plays
plays
bass.
bass.
Yeah, Eric
But
Laughlin
it's his
plays bass.
brother, right?
Yeah.
No. So when I was playing with a different band like a year ago, it was the drummer's younger brother, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah.
Jordan and I know each other.
And then before that, at JMU, was with Alec
Yeah.
and me and Pete.
Alec, like
Moss.
Nieberl-
Alec
Oh,
Moss.
Moss. Oh, okay.
No, Alec Nieberlein doesn't know how to play an instrument.
Is Alec Moss still playing with you guys at all, or
Uh-uh.
okay, he's doing his own thing.
Yeah,
now.
he's working
He's a
at Car
businessman.
Park Records in
Yeah.
DC.
So what other gigs? Because this is something that, I mean, I feel like in genre-wise, you and I are kind of the same realm, I guess, just because we, whatever. What are you looking into? Like, have you looked into like playing at the Crown? Or we talk. I think I mentioned that before.
Yeah, when we talked, I think this past Saturday, I literally actually within the past like 36 hours, I've only scratched the surface, but I've probably sent out like 30 some odd emails, and that's including venues to play shows, blogs, and like college radio stations.
It's weird because like I feel like myself personally, I vibe so much more with the hip hop scene more than I do with like the indie scene in Baltimore. Is like I like the band, I like the bands that play, but the scene itself, like the people that go out, it's like I don't feel like I fit into that as much, and so
Yeah.
like I tend to like gravitate towards more like
Yeah.
I-
It's more of like the punk scene is more developed in Baltimore than anything else. Like, I know, like, Dude, there's like a ton of fucking punk bands in Baltimore. Like,
There's like Double Dagger, which is like the godfather of all that stuff, and then they just ended. But then there's also bands that come about that, like Future Islands. Technically,
Yes.
they're from North Carolina, but they're also part of that underground scene that just kind of like blossomed into this wonderful band that has, just become so popular.
We've had bands on before. And I always feel like when I talk to somebody who like is involved with the hip hop thing, because so much of hip hop is more, and it's not even necessarily a genre, but it's like the drive behind it. There's so much more of, I don't know. It's just what I've ascertained from talking to people. I just gravitate more towards that, and it's like it's difficult because it's like I talk to guys in the band, and we'll talk to guys in bands a lot of times. Not you included, because I feel like you're on the same page with everything that we're talking about right now.
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
people, it's like they don't have the same, like the shit we're talking about, like Baltimore and like driving shit up and making a name and doing that stuff and like grinding and stuff like that. It's like I don't get that vibe from a lot of people, and maybe it's just because we haven't had the right people on up to this point. But it's which I would love to have people on that feel that way. But it's just like it's kind of like a weird thing for me because I would like to play out, and it's like I don't know. But I think it's dope. The first thing I noticed when I saw the Auto Bar thing was that you guys are playing as Thunder Club on that billing, which
Yeah.
is sick
I
because
thought
it's
it'd be
Yeah.
such a cool thing to mix that.
It's
Like,
different.
it's
very
fucking
different.
awesome.
Yeah, but it's
As soon
dope.
as I saw that, I called my brother and I was like, "Yo, I didn't know you guys were doing that shit. Like that's next level shit because
Yeah.
you're bringing together. You're
now
bringing
it's just like a party.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a rap
And
show
that's
anymore. It's
community.
like a
I
party.
think that's like
Yeah,
what you're kind of
that's-
getting at. It's just like we got to move as a unit. Like everyone who's serious about it, fuck it. Whether you're a punk artist, rock, rap, like let's get together and like have
Yeah.
a good time and make some noise.
And we've talked about that. We have a couple other podcasts, The Darkest, which Eric does with Dark Mark Joyner, who's fucking dope. And then another podcast, which is yet to be named, with Matt and Leland. And we've talked about how the comedy scene in Baltimore is kind of segregated in the same way. It's kind of like two separate cultures. But the idea of bringing those things together, that's like, to me, it's just what needs to be done. It's just what needs to fucking happen.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
but there's so many just I don't know, just like baseline differences between the two. Like there's like a defined urban scene in the city, and then it's kind of like the mainstream scene, which like kind of almost links into the clubs essentially, but also the urban scene links into the factory. But
True.
I don't know. It's just like it's just a thing of I don't know. I don't want to say ethical because that sounds fucking weird or like moral or anything, but like I don't know. It's just a difference in like running a show. So in like an
Yeah.
urban room, it'll be like a $20 ticket or whatever, and then
It's different
they'll
business
have like
model for sure.
Fucking like a meal, and then like they'll have like 8 comics and a headliner, and then
Which is
So
dope.
that's like, yeah.
Which
Are you talking
is-
about like something like Magoobies?
no, not necessarily. I'm talking more like the fucking like what's so funny. Or, I don't know. I don't want to like talk shit or whatever, but I don't know.
It's not talking shit because I think what they do is sweet too. Because like honestly, at this point in my life, somebody comes to me with a show where it's like you buy a ticket, but that also includes drinks and it also includes food and shit like that. It's like at this point, I'm like, that sounds fucking sweet. Maybe when I was 20, I'd be like, I just want to fucking go out and fucking get wasted. But like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people that could gravitate to that now. I think there's lessons to be learned from both sides.
Yeah, maybe we
That's
should
for
bring
sure.
like a charcuterie board to the show.
You're
Hell
like
yeah,
a
dude.
Get
I
some
fuck with
fucking
some meats
summer
and
sausage,
cheeses.
some capicola, some Munster.
Some Munster.
the
Munster.
bake sale, the merch stand.
We'll go
I'm
to the
I'm looking
giant
forward to
plant.
this fucking Auto Bar show, and I would like to. I've never been to Toronto before. I would like to fucking watch what you guys are doing up there. I'm not fucking doing anything right now, so I might as well fucking go up and see it. I think that's
Dude,
sweet.
well, my sister and 2 of her friends and my friend Tyler Kane are driving up, so I think there is a seat open.
Bingo.
There you go.
Bingo.
I'll connect you guys. for
Jimmy,
sure.
you
Hell
you got a passport?
Do you need a passport to go to Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a
Yes.
passport,
There
but it's
you
a
go.
terrible picture. Is that all right? Because my picture is really fucking bad.
I mean,
I went
as long
in.
as it's still, if it hasn't expired.
Yeah.
It's just terrible because my passport picture is probably the worst picture I've ever taken, and it's almost like I don't want to go to another country now. Oh, this is you? No, it's not me. I'll go back to Maryland. I apologize. My bad.
Yeah, this show is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fucking huge, I think.
So that's Auto Bar is June 15th. That's a Thursday night.
Yep.
And then when's the Toronto gig?
A month later, we leave the 12th and the show of July, and the show's on the 13th.
Hell yeah. And real quick, like, obviously you're at 110% juice on Twitter, right?
I changed it. Wait, what am I on Twitter?
111% juice.
It's just Juice Bruns Music. Everything's
Okay.
Juice
Juice
Bruns
Bruns
Music.
Everything.
Music,
Good.
yeah.
I'm glad you consolidated
I
that
made
all.
it universal, yes.
And does Thunder Club have like a Twitter, like?
No, we have Facebook, which is at Thunder Club MD.
Okay, there you go.
And, yeah,
Nice. Classic.
because, dude, we'd have that Bandcamp, and then we're on Spotify and iTunes, and Apple Music,
Nice.
and we have a song. We have a video on YouTube that was made by Jake Armstrong, which is dope.
Nice.
Jake Armstrong, shout out.
Yeah.
Classic
out,
boy.
Jake.
Classic boy.
Good boy.
Yeah, I'm working on doing like the Instagram thing for the band. It's just so much to manage.
But the best way to find
So
your
much.
music is go on Apple Music, Spotify, something like that. Thunder
or
Club.
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, yeah.
Or
You can
Bandcamp.
just Google Thunder Club and you'll find it, or just Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify. I saw it
Spotify
on
is the
Spotify.
easiest.
Is there anything else you guys want to like plug or anything like that? Anything else going on that we should know about right now in the works?
We have a show. Thunder Club has a show in Lancaster,
There you go.
Pennsylvania,
Some Amish.
July 8th, the week before Toronto, and it's at Longshore Park.
Nice.
And it's like their version of First Thursday,
Oh, cool.
but it's on a Saturday.
First Saturday.
That's gonna
I
be
can get
tight.
down.
And we're opening for something submarine. I don't know. I can't remember.
And that speaking of
Chicago.
First Thursday, I was actually listening to WTMD on the way down here, and I normally don't enjoy WTMD too much, to be honest, listening wise. Also, because I listen to a lot of fucking talk radio now, because I'm fucking old now. I guess I don't fucking know.
Listen to C4.
I listen, dude. C4 is the fucking man.
C4 's the
C4 is the
man,
fucking
dude.
man. I love 1090 with C4, dude. He just gets it, dude. I've been listening to C4. I'm like, fuck yeah, C4. You're
Clarence
on it,
Mitchell,
dog.
the third, or
Ooh,
fourth, dude.
the fourth, right in the name, C4. But I really enjoy that, and they were talking about First Thursday. And I feel like that's something that, like, I don't know, is that something? It's definitely something you guys should look into because they really do a good job of reaching out to bands.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. We did
2 weeks ago, right?
yeah, not this Saturday, but the Saturday before that. We did like what was it? The Baltimore band block party.
Hell
and
yeah.
we played live on air, which was
Hell yeah.
that
Dude,
was
that's sick.
That was like the first time, like me and my brother talked about it, and we were both like, that is the first time we've gotten nervous for a show in a long time, because it's like WTMD's like it's big, but it was just
It's
it was
also, like, the
definitely a
live
different
air.
experience. Yeah,
It's
to
legit.
play-
It's legit. It's just like it's the
like
real
a dream
deal.
of mine is
Yeah.
to be on, it was Letterman, but Fallon or whatever,
Yeah, something like
Kimmel and all that stuff. But like getting that out of the way was cool. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and the whole thing was like a donation based thing. If you donate the most amount of money, you get to play First Thursday. And
So
then
it's
there
kind of
was
like a
like
pay to play type
performance.
thing.
In a sense, yeah.
But it's worth it because
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
and like those who donate towards WTMD, and they put on like Pulse and which you went and saw.
Lake Street Dive.
Yeah, Lake
and then
Street
the year
Dive.
before, I saw Dr. Dog with them. It was so dope.
sick.
Yeah,
With the
Pulse
BSO.
with BSO is cool, and then and the First Thursdays and like every other event they do, which is always fun.
Cool.
So.
Eric, what do you got going on, dude?
Check me out at Eric Glazer on everything. I think if you're not if you're not listening live, which I don't even think this is live, I'm at Mount Vernon Marketplace this Sunday. Then other than that, just check out the Baltimore Comedy Festival. Check out the website, baltimorecomedyfest.com. I think we're actually you said you worked with like Bopa for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
We're teaming up with them, and we're gonna get a booth at
sick.
Artscape.
Nice.
Getting some info out on the Maryland Travel Bureau or whatever. So stay tuned for that. If you want to submit, it's free submissions. So none of that scammy bullshit of paid submissions. Free submissions. Yeah, it's going to be a fucking legit thing. And we're going to have some big names to announce pretty soon. So check that out.
That's sick, dude.
Sweet.
Guys, at Jimmy Selesky on everything. I do want to quickly address a poll I posted up this week on the Live from the Studio Twitter. It was between it was the best professional wrestler promos, and it was between Macho Man Randy Savage, The Rock, and Ric Flair. And, woo! Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Macho Man and The Rock tied, and Rick lost. And if anybody's listening, I would advise you
Never
to
see Ric Flair lose.
YouTube.
Never
Go on
put yourself
YouTube and
through
type
that.
in Ric Flair promos, watch some shit from the early 80s, and then go back and revote on that poll. Because if you can't tell me that Ric Flair was one of the best that ever did it, and The Rock was good. The Rock was good, and Macho Man was good.
Yeah, The Rock
But,
was good on
Ric
the mic.
Flair,
Ric
he
Flair
had
was
that
great
rich
on
man
the
swag,
mic.
dude. He was
One of a
nature boy. I would just recommend that you guys look back. And also, real quick, shout out to Laughable. We missed a couple plugs this week. Eric and I meant to
Yeah.
pre-record a cold drop. But shout out to Laughable.
Never did that, but yeah, shout out to Laughable. Android app coming soon. Check out our podcast on there. Check us out individually on there. You can subscribe to the podcast. You can go on there. You can. Let's say you go last week. We had Rel Battle on.
Yeah, it's like an index for comedians. So basically, instead of having to search by podcast, you can search and have to kind of sift through and find the people that you want to see on a podcast. You can actually search by the guest, and so you can actually see every podcast that a certain comedian's been on. It's a really good idea, and they said that it's on iOS right now, right?
Yeah,
it's coming out on Android this summer. And definitely check it out. Shout out to Ned McKinney. Thank you so much for allowing us to be on that platform. Thank you so much for that fucking technical difficulty right there. Guys, at LFTS Podcast on everything, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play. We out here, boys.
All the stuff,
We got
guys.
all that shit.
Till next week.
Peace.
Thanks for
When you
having
say
us.
that
Hey.
you want this, don't you know you leave me wanting more? Tell me no one's above this.